What's up? Sorry, that was weird. I was grabbing a Diet Coke real quick. So this is the second video. I had to go grab my power adapter because my Mac was about to die. Um, so anyway, yes, I'm getting my surgery letter. How do I feel about this? Aside from all the usual feelings that one would feel, um, yeah, I would say that I'm scared. You know, major invasive surgery like that is not something to be taken lightly. Luckily, I'm a strong boy, so I'm a very sturdy man. So I'm pretty sure that I will be able to get through it just fine. I'm also not extremely large chested, although I the chesticles are decent sized. I have a pretty decent sized rack. And I think I've talked about this, but I am doing the extremely low carb, working out, being super healthy, not eating refined sugars and flour thing. Um, and I've already been told that my face looks a little bit smaller, although I'm not sure if that's entirely true. But I have less back, like, I don't have like back fat necessarily, but there's just less of me to hug, I was told today. So that's definitely a good thing. Um, so I'm doing my damn thing so I can get a little bit healthier and lose some fat for surgery and to pass better in the interim. I don't generally have problems passing, but um, losing about 20 pounds will probably help me quite a bit. I can't lose too much because I do sing the opera and I also don't have too much to lose. I'm naturally built like a fire plug, so oh well, you know. Um, I think all the little trans guys with their little chests are really cute, but that's not what my body's like. So when I do a shirtless video for the first time, you're all going to be like, whoa, because I'm very white, first of all. Although after I have surgery, I would imagine that I will be tanning and running around shirtless a lot more. But yeah, I'm barrel chested, which makes the whole opera thing work. So yeah. So yeah, surgery feelings, pretty crazy. I don't think it will really sink in until the letter is actually in my hand and I read it. Um, that's going to be pretty nuts to read that letter and to have it in my hand. Um, so I'm really looking forward to that. But uh, yeah, feelings about top surgery. There you go. Um, the other cool thing that happened in the last 24 hours, I was asked by a former captain in the Air Force to represent the United States Marine Corps in in the Portland Pride Parade in the color guard. So I will be carrying a flag and representing my branch of the United States Armed Forces, which is the Marines. Um, and I was so flattered and I was so honored when he asked. He's also um, very involved. He was very involved and quite instrumental in the DADT repeal and all the advocacy over here on the West Coast. Um, he was really active in that. He's a major transgender advocate. He, as I said, served in the military. He had a glorious career in the Air Force, and he is the vice president of um, Veterans for Human Rights. So, um, and how do I feel about that? All of this, the color guard, you know, finding my military roots again, it's pretty intense. Like, okay, here's the very very abridged version of my Marine Corps career, which didn't last very long. Um, I was discharged because I broke my hip, and that made my knees suck even more than they already did. Um, and I didn't want to be a paper pusher, and I told them that they could take their admin MOS and go fuck themselves. So I was discharged. It's an uncharacterized administrative discharge. It was not a medical discharge. I don't know why. Um, I think that it was probably uncharacterized because, I mean, it was probably an uncharacterized admin discharge because um, I was gay, and it was pretty fucking obvious that I was, not by my own fault, but you know, people come to conclusions by themselves sometimes, and sometimes they're right, and sometimes, you know, their assumptions are wrong, but in my case, they were correct. So, because I was a female-bodied person who looked like a female-bodied person who would like other female-bodied people, I think that's why it was uncharacterized admin. And I think that it was not dishonorable or other than honorable because I was a fucking good Marine. So, yeah, I broke my hip. I made it all the way through boot camp. I graduated on time. I graduated with the platoon I dropped with. Never had any problems. Um, Platoon 4003. My rifle serial number was 6477863. Um, yeah, so I graduated. I got that EGA, that Eagle Globe and Anchor, in my hand when I graduated, and I cried like a baby. Um, I cry a lot, if you haven't noticed. Um, and was very, and I'm still very proud. You know, I still saw some things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just because you don't go overseas doesn't mean that you don't see Marines having a hard time or, you know, whatever. I definitely saw some people act in ways that they wouldn't have otherwise acted had they been in civilian situations. Um, but, you know, training is not a normal situation. Um, so, yeah, definitely experienced some adverse situations and met some pretty interesting people. But regardless, I am proud that that I rate to wear the uniform of a United States Marine, and I will do so proudly at Gay Pride in Portland, Oregon on June 19th in the parade. Um, I've chosen what I'm going to wear after a lot of deliberation, and you know, honestly, dress blues are really expensive, and it's going to be fucking June, so I don't want to be marching for 2 miles with a flag being really really hot. Um, so I've decided that I'm going to get a kilt in the United States Marine Corps tartan, which is a pretty sexy tartan. Um, and I'm just gonna wear the white blues cover and a bow tie and a tux shirt and a tux jacket and you know, the kilt and the sporran and the hose and the whole 9 yards. So I might wear my National Defense Medal and my Good Conduct Medal on my jacket, but I'm not sure yet. Um, so yeah, pretty excited to represent my Marine Corps once again in a GLBT atmosphere, because it is an aspect of my life that I don't talk about very often. I don't talk about my military service because, you know, I earned the title of U.S. Marine, and that's good, but um, because of a medical condition, I was unable to fulfill that commitment, and that's something that I carry a little bit of guilt about, to be honest. But it's now that I've assumed my true identity as a male Marine, I'm even more proud, if that's possible, to to tell people that I'm a former United States Marine. So yeah. Um, so there's that. There's a military thing, and I think I'm gonna make a third video. So hang tight.